Hello, I'm Micah and I'd like to present my inspirational speech. Now, to start, I'd like to say that I didn't read much Mark Twain growing up, and the little I did, I thought was kind of boring. I wasn't a huge fan until I read a quote by him that goes, "Don't let your schooling get in the way of your education." Now, originally, that quote was started by a man named Grant Allen. He was an author in the early 1800s in America. He was an American author. But it's accredited to Mark Twain because he kind of made it popular. And he was talking to a dad who was a fan of his, and they were talking about his son. And his son wasn't very motivated to do his schoolwork. He was just kind of dragging along. And the father was really pushing him and being really strict. And Mark Twain said, don't let your idea of what his schooling should be get in the way of his education. And that father took that story and said, oh yeah, Mark Twain said this, and it kind of became his after that point. And I say that because it kind of reflects how I was taught growing up being homeschooled pretty accurately. We had obviously lots of schoolwork with, book reading and workbooks where you were filling out questions and answering things, but there was a lot of active learning as well. And I'm a very visual learner. I like when things are hands-on and I can kind of, take stuff apart, put it back together, or like, oh, that's how that works, and just kind of mess with stuff. I'm really like, I really like to learn in that kind of environment. And even with being homeschooled, we still had field trips where we'd go somewhere like to the zoo or to the aquarium, and we'd be able to have a more active learning experience than just being told something and memorizing it for a test, which I really appreciated because there was this one curriculum that we used, which I will not name, but their ideal for what learning should be is from the age of, I think it was 10, maybe 12, you put on your kind of business casual school uniform, you go to one of their learning centers that they have across the country, whichever one's closest to you, and you get in your cubicle and you're hunched over, you're working for hours at end, and you're rocking it out, you're getting your schoolwork done, and that's it. It's prepping kids for like office work, which I was not a fan of at all. I liked being able to kind of take my time or, just kind of set my own pace, which, probably backfired a little bit because I goofed around a lot in high school, but I still made it through, and it was a lot less miserable than going to a cubicle. It was like your learning square and just slogging away. And what I gained from that, as opposed to just, school is a thing that you do, get it done, get out. I came to enjoy school more when I could be interactive with it. And what that's done is now in college, I'm by myself. I don't have anybody really over my shoulder like, hey, get this done. Make sure you get that done. I have to make sure I do it myself. And what I can do now is if I'm done by a certain time, I have free time where I can do whatever. And there's so much around that I've been able to try a bunch of new things and find out what I like and what I don't like, and maybe learn a new skill or just kind of go out and try something. I really like that you have those kind of opportunities in college, and I'm grateful that my schooling growing up kind of prepped me more for that. And so, kind of what I would want to leave you with is, we're all pretty familiar with the phrase, you only live once. I don't really believe in that. I mean, obviously, as Christians, we don't believe that you only live once anyway, but for the life that we live physically here, you live it once. You live only once. And it kind of puts it into a different mind frame of, oh, you're not living from moment to moment. It's you have this whole time, and that is your life. And it's more you're making the most of it than just having these moments of, oh, wow, that was fun, but you're kind of just hopping from that high to that next high. Instead of doing that, you're spending your whole life kind of maximizing. And so an example of that is I am going to Italy for a semester. I don't know which semester, I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I'm going, and I just know that as a fact. And because I know that, and because I say that it's going to happen, I'm going to find a way. And so that same kind of confidence, even though I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do it, you can apply to anything that you want to do, because confidence is sort of half the battle. When you have something that you want to do, you'll find a way to make it happen. So thank you. That's all.